Here.
Councilmember Sotelo?
Here.
Councilmember Alvarado?
Here.
Councilmember Devoe? Here. Councilmember Rosas?
I'm here.
Can I get a vote on the meeting agenda?
I make a motion to vote on the memorandum.
Vote motion by Diana. Second by Vera, all in favor?
Discussion.
We gotta add it. Oh, okay, sorry for the discussion.
With. What is it? My discussion was, she didn't add the additions, new business C and D. The two discussions.
I have a vote by Diana, adding the discussion for CMD on new business. Second by Vera. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to the city's comments at this time. So anyone who has a comment, step up to the podium, state your name and your address.
Moving on to the street of North Second Avenue. Why are the visitors' comments being done now instead at the end?
Sorry, I have a question on that too. Why was it moved to the beginning instead of the end? That way the residents can comment on what was spoken on the agenda.
Yeah,
A city attorney can answer that question.
What's that?
The mayor can set the agenda as far as when public comment takes place. So whenever the mayor decides on the agenda to go ahead and have a public comment, there's beginning, middle, after second reading, whenever, but they just have to allow public comment at some point in the meeting.
so we'll get our public comments at the beginning of the meeting when we don't even know what's gonna be discussed throughout the whole meeting. Doesn't make no sense to me. So why was that changed? Just to benefit who? Because they ain't benefiting us. Another thing. Why was the office closed on Thursday and Friday and nobody was notified? Why wasn't it posted? Either on the website or posted on the door or something? It was just closed. No explanation as to why.
You wanna comment on that?
Well, public comment, we don't have
Okay.
discourse.
All right, thank
Public,
you.
It's just your chance to say what you want to say.
So I'm not getting an answer for that either. So what good are comments in simple little questions like this if we're not gonna get answers? That's telling me that you guys can close everything down whenever you want and don't notify the public. That to me is just not right. Don't make no sense. So mum's the word. How about that? Here's another one. I've noticed that we haven't had police officers or at least two of the officers on duty over the weekend. I noticed this on Friday, I think it was. So do we have a police department or don't we? Because I only see one officer here today. I didn't see nobody on duty during the daytime. And usually there's somebody on days and somebody on at nights. So is this not important enough to let the community know what's going on? Or is this another stalemate and mum's the word again? Because the community should know about this. These officers are here to protect the community. And if they're not aware of what's going on, then what are they supposed to do? What about somebody gets broken into during the daytime? Or there's an accident? Who are they to call? These are questions that need to be answered. And if we're gonna come in here and hope for answers and not get nothing, then what are we supposed to do? Can we go out and spread rumors and say, hey, you know what, this is what's going on. City council don't want to answer, the mayor don't want to answer, nobody wants to answer our questions. I hope this is going live. Is this live? She can't answer that question either? So is this live or not? It is? So I hope people that are watching this, I hope they have questions too, and I hope they expect answers, but evidently it doesn't seem like they're gonna get any. Which is unfortunate because that's very unprofessional, I think. Things need to change. We deserve answers. And if we're not getting them, then what good are you guys? And if the mayor, if you're not willing to answer these questions, because this is your show accordingly, you know, according to you, this is your deal. You should be answering these questions. This is on your watch. So why don't you want to answer? This is ridiculous. This is totally uncalled for. I don't understand it. I don't know why you're being like that. I don't know if it's a pride thing. I don't know what the hell the deal is, but there's no reason for you to even be like that. You say that you do for the citizens of Mabton, you ain't doing nothing for me. Especially when it comes down to answering my questions. And I ain't no different than any other citizen here in Mabton. You know, so where do you get off saying that you're doing for the citizens of Mabton? Because I don't see anything. And I'm sure a lot of people here in Mabton see it the same way. You know, so something's got to give. And if it's not you, then let the council answer. Or let Sylvia answer, or let somebody answer. So what's the deal? That's it?
Thank you for your comments.
No, thank you for your answers.
Wow.
Laura Vasquez, 516 Maple Street. So during the study session, there was some talk about the ARPA funds. So I just want to remind council and let the people know out here at what some of the $316,000 of ARPA funds that was received prior to 2021 or in 2021. Part of them ARPA funds went for this room. A part of them went for the entrance of City Hall, the main office of City Hall. Part of them went to redo 2 of the rooms upstairs. That the upstairs had already been started. Part of them was supposed to be cameras brought into the city. We were supposed to have 6 cameras brought into the city that the council in 2021 approved. That never happened. 2 public works vehicles was supposed to be purchased with that, and 2 police vehicles was supposed to be purchased with that. I know that them was all things that was approved by the council at that point. And so I just wanted to remind council that was here and those that wasn't, let them know part of the stuff that them ARPA funds did go to in 2021. The next thing I want to talk about is the city events. I've stood up here quite a few different times and asked the mayor about her city events. I want to know exactly, and maybe at some point we can get together and you can answer this question for me. But what does it entail to have a city event? From my understanding, the council had to approve every event that the city done. And as of my knowledge, it's never any city event has been brought to council for approval prior to. Also, at the beginning of your event, you have a 0 balance. You take in donations. At the end of it, you paid these people. And at the end of that, you should have a 0 balance. I don't understand how there's no donations. From my understanding, there was a guy in Granby that gave you $1,000 check that you didn't want to take, you wanted cash. So that check actually ended up in the chief's name for some reason. I don't know if it was ever deposited. Rumor. You could say, you could clear that up with me if you'd like. But from my understanding, it's a fact.
It is a fact.
So I don't know how donations could be at 0 with that one person giving you $1,000. And you told that one person that lots of people's donating to you. So there should be thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in that fund. So I just want to find out, do you plan on doing any other type of things through the city without your council's permission? Because I mean, that's the council's job, is to say, yeah, you can have this event like the mayor's always done in the past for National Night Out, because National Night Out is something that we do. The city does. The only event most cities do is National Night Out, and that come to city council. They approved the date. They approved the time. And every single thing that you do like that needs to have a date and a time approved by the council. You're not the boss, they really are. And so I just hope that the auditors watch some of these and ask you about the 7 bands at the last thing you had and the 9 bands at the one before, and who paid those people? Because they were paid. Out of your mouth, you told one of the donors, the band don't take checks, they only take cash. So bands were paid. Oh, again, that's just a rumor, but I really don't think it is. And when it comes to time for you to actually have to answer these actual questions, then people that I am saying that right now it's just rumor is going to be on a stand answering the questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, it's funny,
Anyone
Rachel, that
else?
you and your mom can sit up there with a smirk on your face and everybody else is quiet. That's
Anyone
pretty
else?
disrespectful.
Anyone else? We're gonna go ahead and move on. Okay, go ahead and if I can get an approval on the consent agenda. A through D.
And I'm gonna go ahead and approve the consent agenda excluding B, D, and E. Because the council meeting minutes are not correct, are not included. All the minutes are not complete.
Are we-
I s-
And Vera, I think we've talked about this. It's, you all can go back and look at the video. We
No.
have
Yeah, so no,
short,
we can, but I would like to have it in the minutes, so then when we go back and read these, I can read what was talked about, what was said in here. This is posted on the website, the videos are not.
the videos have been getting posted.
Are we happy with the claims?
I hope so, because if not, nobody's gonna get paid again.
Just asking.
Well, you and Sophie went to City Hall last night and checked on them. I was looking at some, but I can't find anything of the Pacific Power on my paperwork here. So, Pacific Power. I can't find any of those. You guys cutting a check out, but I don't see which ones you guys are paying because I don't see them. I see some on here, but we have one for 2,644.47. I do not find that here.
Do you guys combine them, Sylvia, at any time, or do you?
Oh, is that what you guys did?
I saw a bunch of them.
Well, right here, there's one right here on this paperwork from the agenda, 14,702.50. On this one. On the agenda. Did you guys like add it all together? Oh, it's not like 2 weeks ago, every statement had its own little line.
We do, but then at the end, it makes one check for all.
Oh, okay. Next time I'm gonna be in calculator.
I think we changed that before because there was too many checks being for the same vendor. Because we have like the lift stations that we have the wastewater and then City Hall, so there's individually, so we just combine them now.
Yeah, well, 2 weeks ago, it was different.
Right.
It was different, and now this is different.
What's that for those?
But they came into the office. for-
Yeah, that's why I said, they went to the office, they looked.
So which one aren't you?
But I do have a question. Why are we paying the attorney 9,654.26?
The invoice in the ring.
Yeah, like it's in there. So, Sophie, which ones did you want not approved?
The internet.
We had, but Mary's still waiting on a question and answer.
And it's in her book.
So we, I don't find it. I put it back in that file. but I have your copy. I think.
So I did go to the city hall last night to look over these with Vera, and we did notice on this particular one. I guess in the past, we've been paying the attorney every 3 months. And it's normally like $4,000, $5,000 for 3 months, and then this last time for 3 months, it's almost $10,000, almost double. I see the bill, but it doesn't really say specifics on certain things or what he talked about. Was it city business? Was it personal business?
I think Sylvia talked about that at the last meeting. It was, public records that he had helped us with.
They have the invoice right there in front of them here, so I wouldn't be able to tell you.
That's back in July,
Thank you.
from July. So there's nothing here from September and August. So that means we still owe him some more?
That would be a question that we have to ask him.
Well, you guys get the bills from him. Somebody here gets the bill from him.
But we haven't received the bill. That's the last bill. That's why it came to council.
Did he ask to be paid every 3 months, or is that,
I
The way
think
it
it was
just
just
happened.
when he was sending his.
that's what he said in his
Yeah.
billing? Okay.
Did you notice anything different of why it was like double for this last 3 months versus the past 6 months?
I didn't, I don't open the bills.
Don't pay it unless it's itemized.
We'll look into it. I don't, I'll have to look into that.
Okay, so
But you guys have it, so. And he did provide a service to the city. It wasn't a personal service, so.
You see that?
Ben, have you had a chance to look at this at all?
No, I have not.
Vera, you have your copy, you want to show him really quick? It's a billing statement. Looks like this. Yeah, there you go, Chitty had. Does the billing look kind of normal to
Oh,
what? I know the last attorney, he would itemize and put down, spoke to so-and-so because of this.
Yeah,
Spoke to so-and-so because of this.
I wouldn't specify, if this is, it's up to council on what they pay and what they don't going forward as far as bill approval in this situation, and whether this meets the satisfaction of the contract that you had with this person or not. You have to make that determination.
Can we table that? Well, we can't, because we have table no. Until we have,
No, you can exclude something if you
can
want.
we exclude it and pay you look into it, Rachel? Yeah. Okay, you guys want to do that?
So we were gonna go ahead and look into the, bill for, alcohol.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda excluding B, D, and E for incomplete minutes. And then on F, just, or whichever one is included in there, Mr. Edelbrook's billing. So it can be looked at a little bit further.
That a motion, Sylvie?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'll second it.
A motion by Sophie, second by Vera. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We're going to go ahead and go, into old business. The approval of a resolution of the city of Mabton, Washington, implementing a spending freeze effective immediately.
I need the motion. that we
Just a minute, Vera, really quick. So Ben, do you want to talk about that a little bit, about the freezing of the funds?
The funds itself, I think you need to specify a little bit more what you're actually freezing, what you're going forward. So if there's specific line items that you want to freeze going forward that haven't been allocated or haven't been funded yet for specific purposes, those can always be frozen. If you have ongoing contractual obligations that have to be paid pursuant to contracts, that the service has been performed, you can't freeze those in this without facing liability for that because they're produced to note. Does that make sense?
I think we did say just big major things that we could hold off on. We were talking about meals or just like going out and buying a tractor or something, no.
And you're gonna specifically freeze something, what you want to do is specify what you're freezing.
Exactly. Okay.
So, any machinery, big vehicles, kind of like what we talked about earlier.
I don't think it was said unnecessary spending.
What is unnecessary to you?
Something
Something
you
like
don't,
he just explained. that
something you don't need to
we
go out
always
and buy,
have to pay it.
buy food for the office, or you don't need to go buy, fix a vehicle that is supposed to be surplus, spend tires on it. That's just stuff unnecessary.
We haven't bought tires for a vehicle that's surplus.
Yeah.
When?
We passed a motion a while back to, surplus and Explorer. And then a while later, someone bought tires for it, and we approved the tires that came on here were spent for this Explorer.
We have the Explorer, it hasn't even been put up yet. You still have it barely running, but yeah, it's there.
How come you haven't put it up?
Former Garcia was, putting that up. I don't know if he did. He worked something out with Joe. So I don't know how far Joe is on that. It's a process. Okay, so I can get a motion on the freeze expenditure.
Make a motion to pay the legislation, city of Mabton, where she said implementing a spending freeze effective immediately.
A motion by Vera. I second the motion. Second by Diana, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. We're gonna go ahead and go on to 7, new business. Approval of the extension agreement for State Route 241 bridge. That's what we discussed earlier. So if I can get approval on that, please.
I make a motion on the approve the extension agreement for the State Route 241 bridge.
Motion by Diana. Second by Arturo.
And I'm sorry, extension till when did you say?
The approval for the extension grant for State Route 241, so they extending it. They said the last week of November. But in my, when I talked to them, they said maybe December. So that's why I said I'm pushing it back to like mid-December, but it may be sooner.
For mid-December.
I say mid-December, just so that way if they don't, and they say, well, we need to do a few more things, we have that, and I won't be held accountable that, oh, well, you said it was gonna be done by a certain date. So I have a motion by Diane, second by Arturo, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Approval of the Yakima Valley, Conference of Government Professional Service Agreement. And, I think we said it was 5,000. Table.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll go ahead and table that. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and go on to C on the under new business. You want to repeat that?
Okay, yeah, so I read this stuff you put in the back of this packet from MSRC about minutes. It says all the reasons why you don't have to have it, but at the end, it says in conclusion, the governing body is largely a matter of local policy set by the body. So if we wanted to set a policy, a procedure to document this practice, we could, and I would like that. I would have to set a policy so we can adopt the procedure of including minutes in all the agendas and council meetings. So like I said earlier, so when we go back and save these and go back and look, we can see exactly what was said and what was passed.
And you want word for word? We're not talking to you.
It says verbatim, but you know, we've done this in the past, you guys have done this in the past, you know what you should do or how you could do it. But it does say verbatim. Just so the main topics is on what was said, who said what was passed.
Okay, we're gonna go on, to do what's the,
And can we have that to the next meeting, please? Some policy, thank you. Oh, and Dean, so I want to discuss that we need to allocate this ARPA funds to the water system, like I've been saying since the beginning of the year. And like it says in the budget that was passed in 2021, and I didn't bring it today, but you guys did bring it to us one day, and I told you this was for 2021, not 2024. Where it just say to put the mixers in there, along with the PD cars and the cameras, was all in there.
In 2021.
In 2021, we did the budget for 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it has mixers right in there. You know, we're in October right now and our water still stinks. And then if we have money left over from the mixers for those tanks, if we can allocate that money to start that pilot down here,
Pilot project.
that pilot project for the water treatment plant.
I'd like to table this. Yeah, please.
okay, we'll go ahead and we'll table it.
You want
Did
to
you want to
discuss?
add something? You said
I
you wanted
just
to.
want to table it and talk about more and other things that we had going.
Okay, you want to go ahead? Or do you want to do this at another time? Or do you want to go into executive session?
No, we'll do it next time.
Next
We can
time.
table it till next.
Okay. Yeah, we could do that.
But it's getting really, really
Okay,
late.
we're
We're
gonna
in
go ahead and
October
table this.
already, so.
We're gonna go ahead and table this. So if I can get a motion for C and D.
It wasn't just a discussion, I guess we can
Discussion,
discuss
okay.
it again.
Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and go into a public hearing. At the time, yeah, at 7:46.
I'm sorry, can I go back to that question? Can you ask all the council members if they would like to table it or they would like to discuss it?
Would you like to?
I
table?
want to table it. I want to talk a little bit more.
Table? Mary?
Yeah,
Fine.
table.
Okay, we're gonna go ahead and table it. Thank you. So now we're gonna go ahead and go on to public hearing. If that is. Anybody wants to say anything?
Is there copies of that budget for the people here, since it is a public hearing?
Did you bring any copies, girls?
It's online.
Oh, it's online, Laura. They didn't bring any, sorry.
So is the police department in here?
So this is the public hearing for comments for the public, for the budget now. If anybody wanted to say anything,
Yeah.
comment or ask or request.
Laura Vasquez, 516 Maple Street. So my public comment would be, I've sat in these council meetings now, and I've heard allegation, where you're allocating money to things to Rachel that you've already spent, that you've allocated to the ARPA fund
No, we
that
haven't
last
spent.
year.
No, we haven't used ARPA funds yet. We haven't touched our portion yet.
Well, I think you have, you just haven't actually taken the money out of the ARPA fund. Because you spoke about it in 2022. About the money that we got from COVID, that's the COVID money. And the things that you had done with the COVID money. So I'll go back and try and find them if it was before you stopped the thing. But I guess that, I think that a lot of us are just asking, how are you starting a 2024 budget when you don't have a 2023 budget?
Is Jameson online? Jameson, do you want to answer that?
Okay, go ahead.
You want to go ahead and ask that?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I have been retained by the city to help with the 2024 budget. The fact that there is not a 2023 budget right now, there's nothing we can do about that. So I'm doing 3 projects for the city of Mabton right now. The first is to work on reconciling the
interrupt
financials to date.
Jameson, can I interrupt you again? I'm sorry.
Sure,
I believe there is a 2023 budget.
okay.
Yeah.
Either way, we're not working on that right now. We are working on reconciling the city's financials since the last time they were balanced, which I believe was August of 2022. So that's the first part of my project, reconciling the financials to date. The second thing would be preparing this budget for 2024 so that the expenditures that the city has made so far and that they're going to be making for the rest of this year are authorized and legal. The third project would be working on the 2025 budget. So at this point, I did put a budget together with the best information that I could get from the system, which is not horribly accurate in my opinion. I've already made lots of corrections and I'm going to keep working on those. But to the best of my ability to summarize the information that we had to figure out what the starting balance was, what our estimated revenues and expenditures are through the rest of 2024, and our estimated ending fund balances is what I worked on. So at this point, the next move for council would be, unless you have something really big that you want to change in this, we can make those changes. Otherwise, passing an ordinance to approve appropriations and expenditures through the rest of the year is really important to make sure that the council and the city is spending money legally.
So my question to you, Jameson, is, so we haven't had a reconciliation since 2022 to the checking account?
That's correct. When looking into the system, the banks were fully reconciled, I believe, as of the end of August of 2022. And then they're reconciled about halfway up through September, I believe. But after that, there's sporadic months here and there that have been reconciled. But the entire financial program has not been reconciled and tied out to fund balances or anything since then.
Okay. So when is the preliminary, but I heard a rumor that the preliminary, you guys are having a budget meeting this weekend. Is that correct? This Saturday? What time is it?
8 o'clock.
And where is it gonna be at?
It's going to be at Mikasa Restaurant.
And is that gonna be live? Will that be recorded? Will that go on YouTube like you did before or not?
Patty says yes.
Yes? So you guys will post up online how somebody can get to that?
Yes.
And when, was this advertised? When was this advertised in the paper?
It's advertised, so we put it in.
Did it come to council and get advertised through council as well?
Yes.
Okay, I think that's all the questions I have. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, I do have one more. Is the employee that was on administrative leave, are they still being paid and is that gonna be part of this new budget as well?
We're going to talk about that.
Since it's public funds, all you have to say is if she's being paid or if she's not, because that's our money. We're paying her. Everybody sitting here that lives in Mabton is paying her. So I think that we have the right to know if she's still being paid or not.
Is it part of the proposed budget? Because if that's the case, you can ask questions about that, so.
She's still being paid.
Thank you.
Oh, yes, she's still getting paid.
Anyone else?
Jameson, I have a question. It sounds to me that like this budget thing is all messed up. You're trying to play catch up. And you're wanting the council to approve the 24 budget so you can move on to the 25 budget. But then again, if it's all messed up, then how should you get a raise? And that was okay.
By doing the budget, there's not a decision being made by me or anyone else about the things that have been spent. The way that this budget was prepared was just taking into account the expenditures that have been paid. Making sure that there is a legal appropriation amount for those to cover those expenses. So that the city can close out the year with an official budget. Does that answer your question?
Okay. So as far as budgets go, you want to get this one approved before the end of the year so you can work on 25s. But how can you do that when 22 and 23 is not even done yet? And if anything, if there's any money left over from the 22, 23 budgets, don't those carry over to the following year? And if they do, where's that money at? Or how much money is there? So that's why I can't understand how you guys can move forward when you don't even know what's left over from the previous years. Because you don't lose that money.
Agenda materials. The first page has a draft budget ordinance,
But we don't have that information.
and there's a chart there. It shows an estimated beginning fund. So I did go through those years without having them reconciled to the best of my ability to figure out at this point, and I'll get more clarity as I get deeper into it, to figure out approximately how much money there is at the beginning of each of those years, spent and earned through those years, and then at the end of them. So this information, I can't say it's accurate because there are still going to be changes made. But the council has a choice here. The council doesn't have to pass this budget. Doesn't have to pass the budget at all. In fact, likely the council's going to get audit findings. Well, the council is going to get audit findings for not filing an annual report, for not reporting the federal spending in time. There's a slew of things that are going to get called out with findings in their audit process. The city needs to decide if they're comfortable just taking this as another audit finding and saying that we're going to continue spending money through the end of 2024 without having the legal authority to do so. Or we can pass a budget that encompasses what we know that we've spent so far to at least mitigate that one violation. But it doesn't solve all of those other issues. And it isn't required to have a 2024 budget for me to move on to 2025, doing the same thing that I've been doing up to this point, estimating. And we can always make changes and amendments to every budget every year, all the way up until the last day of the year. So as the information becomes clearer, we can go and refine the budget and pass an amendment.
Okay, Jameson, so I think what you're trying to get at is that you want this budget approved before the end of the year so it could be legal.
I am of the understanding that the state auditor's office and that the council and that the citizens and the news think that having a budget approved for the city is a good idea.
Well, it is a good idea, but is it being done right? That's the question.
Well,
That's the question, that's the question that everybody's asking is, I mean, anybody can throw in numbers, but are those numbers accurate? And another thing is that if you're wanting to get this budget for 24 approved for it to be legal, 23 and 22 are still illegal. So what are you gonna do about that issue?
We can't go back and pass the budget after fiscal years. So those are already done. I was under the impression that there was a budget passed for 2022.
Yeah, point of information, we believe, according to the council and the mayor, that the 2023 budget was passed and approved. So I haven't verified out the state auditor at this point, but I believe that has been done according to the city here at this point. So
Would you recommend a forensic audit? Because I think that's what should be done. As a citizen, as a concerned citizen, I think a forensic audit would be the right way to go. Because that would uncover everything and that would get everything straightened out. Instead of, right now, we're just playing with numbers just to play with numbers. And that's not fair to the taxpayers. Because we don't know where this money's going to, we don't know how much money is available, we don't know anything about the finances, because nobody's being transparent about it. So we're in limbo, as the citizens of Mabton, they're in limbo because they don't have a clue about nothing, because nobody's being told anything. But then again, the mayor can get a raise, and that's okay.
Thank you.
I'm waiting for her to answer.
I
Jameson?
can't-
Yeah, go ahead,
if you'd like, no?
go ahead.
Okay, I can't say in regards to the accuracy of the financial information right now, you're correct. I don't know that it's accurate, but it's not just playing with numbers. I am going through transaction by transaction to try and pin down and get that information to be accurate. It's simply not accurate right now, based on the fact that it hasn't been reconciled fully since the end of 2022.
No, I'm not saying that, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that you're playing with numbers. I'm saying that people were playing with numbers in the past, especially with the budget that was presented a month ago. Before you were even employed here. There was a budget, a preliminary budget that was issued out that you could tell that the numbers were being played with. What you're doing now, we don't have any information on that. We don't have access to that information.
Jameson,
Yes, ma'am.
did you get the preliminary budget binder?
The binder that you guys have that you just received
No,
this last week,
the one that Larry had handed out. Did you give her that one?
I have not seen that one. No.
Okay, so that's the one he's talking about. But, I mean, the numbers, I don't have anything to do with numbers at all. So maybe I need to give you that binder. We can give you that binder. You can look through it. It was just maybe 2 pages.
Yeah, I can absolutely do that. What I can say is I did go back and look at some of the previous meetings.
Mhm.
And I do know it seemed to be there was maybe not a complete understanding by previous staff and I can see that sort of reflected in some of the accounting errors.
Mhm.
So I would have a hard time vouching for the previous information, not to say anything was intentionally monkeyed or anything. But it does need to be gone through with a fine tooth comb.
Mhm. Okay.
See, that to me just tells me that somebody was incompetent at their job. For there to be as many mistakes as there is, and now you're having to clean up the mess, or somebody else is doing, it doesn't seem right to me, because it should have been done right the first time around. And another thing, you didn't answer my question about the forensic audit.
I think that was question was for you, Jameson. Did you hear?
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was for me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think there is, well, there is an idea of what a forensic audit is, like by definition. And then there's an idea of what a forensic audit is legally. And I think what you're actually asking for is that line by line audit review going through with a fine tooth comb. Is that correct?
yes,
Okay, that's what we are going to be doing, but an actual legal forensic audit would be something looking for misappropriations or fraud or something like that. And we're not even to the point where we can look for that right now because the data isn't even, the city would probably be considered unauditable by the state auditor's office.
Why is that?
I don't know that for a fact, but
Why is that?
because of the lack of financial information accuracy and the lack of reconciliation in the bank accounts and with each individual fund.
But that's my point exactly. That would be
And the
more,
lack of annual reports being filed. I mean, the auditor's office, I did speak with them last week in regards to Mabton. They said that they can't do an audit on 2022 or 2023 yet because the annual reports haven't been filed.
but that's my point exactly. Due to the fact that everything's messed up. My point of view is that that's more of a reason to do a forensic audit.
And I guess what I'm trying to tell you is, if what you mean by a forensic audit is that somebody's gonna go through every transaction line by line, yes, we are doing that. That's what the city hired me to do. But I am not a true forensic auditor. I am not looking for fraud or a proof of a crime, because there hasn't been any crime alleged. And those are specialists that do things like that.
So just real quick, if I can make a point of information for this. So this has been tossed around a lot, so I want to make sure you understand what the city can and can't do in this situation. A forensic audit by definition has to be completely impartial and uninvolved with the city. And so the term forensic, when you comply to an audit, applies as a legal definition, which means the city can't commission it, the city can't be involved in it. They most times occur when they are either sued or they're part of a lawsuit or they're being audited by a different agency altogether. What the city can do is commission a third-party audit of itself with another party and have a forensic accountant come in and do that and review everything as far as the budget goes at that point. Which they would be forensically audited, but technically it's not a forensic audit. Does that make sense? Okay.
Okay, so if that's the
At
case,
this,
so if that's the case, can we get the, I think it was GFC or GMP? What,
It's up to the city what they
can we
want to
get
do.
them to come in here?
The
If it-
city can ask to do that if they want to do that. It's up to the city though.
MP is not a forensic audit firm either.
No, but it's a
There-
more detailed audit than the regular audit.
So I believe, in my opinion, at this point, you need to do the reconciliation first, which is what I'm working on. And then after that, you need to be able to look at the data and determine if you need to go that next step to doing a forensic type audit.
Okay, so what's the timeline between now and then when will you be done with that?
I am working as hard as I can. I gave the city an estimate on the timelines that I thought. But there are a lot of corrections to make and a lot of digging to do.
All right, well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Jameson. Thank you, Jameson. Anyone else?
I'd like to know just, Maria Fernandez, I'd like to know if no annual reports are submitted, bank reconciliation that were not done, quarterly budget reviews were not done. What has the mayor been doing this entire time with that $1,000 raise, making her one of the highest paid mayors in all of Washington state? What have you been doing with your time in office if none of this has been done and you are out of compliance?
So for one, I'm not one of the highest paid mayors.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not. You go over the other side of the mountains and they're making $6,000, $7,000, and $8,000. So look it up, because I think if there was,
We
you
will.
like to look stuff up, look it up.
It's only cities.
Yeah.
Big cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, she's saying in the state of Washington.
Compared to
She
towns
said
this size.
state of
Yeah,
Washington.
okay, let's be a little bit more descriptive.
And,
Towns this side, what have you done to earn that raise, Rachel? Other than make a sham out of the city. It looks exceptionally corrupt. It looks like it doesn't know what it's doing. What have you done to earn $1,700 a month in mayor's pay when you have not submitted these annual reports? You almost went into default with the USDA loan. I know that for a fact. And if we hadn't brought it to the attention of the city council, you wouldn't have fixed it.
we had a meeting with them.
Yeah,
the following
after
day,
the
the
fact.
next day.
Yeah, after
It
the
was,
fact.
yeah, it was a scheduled.
But it
meeting.
had to be brought to the city council, it had to be brought to light to the city council for you to actually get it done.
No,
I
it
had
wasn't a-
direct conversations with people who are involved with the situation. I do know. But again, what have you been doing with the time that you've been paid for to justify that kind of increase as a mayor with all of this non-compliance issues?
So $1,700 is not a lot for what I do. I am in that city hall every day. And what I do on my time with the city, I know what I do. The staff knows what I do. And everybody that we meet
What is
with.
that, Rachel? If the bank reconciliations haven't been done,
That's not.
Annual
I don't-
reports
I
haven't
don't
been
handle I don't handle that.
you oversee
Yeah,
the administration of the city.
I do.
If
And
that
you know what?
hasn't
We
been
took
done,
care of
what
that.
have you been
We
doing?
took care of it. We took care of it. Thank you.
You're not, you haven't taken care of it. You all are non-compliant
We have
in every
Jameson's-
single area.
Jameson's taking
She
care of
says
it.
it's non-auditable at this point.
She's helping us and we're taking care
This
of it.
is due to your lead or lack of leadership here. So instead of trying to get citizens not to be able to come to meetings because you're trying to put restraining orders on them, for which they've all been denied.
You're here, aren't you?
That's right. I'm
Okay,
here and I'm
so
going to
then it's
continue to
been-
hold you accountable because that's
You
the
don't
job that
even
we
live in
do.
Mabton. You
This
don't
is my
even
comment
live in
period.
Mabton.
This is my comment period.
Okay,
All right?
and your time's almost up.
And I will talk until it is up. This is unfathomable that you have the audacity to continue to accept a raise while you are non-compliant. You have started this mess, you continue to make it a mess, you're about to be recalled. Rachel, why don't you do the town a favor and just step down because you already made chaos
Thank you.
out of this entire town.
Anyone else?
We're still talking about the budget, right? Wait, we're still talking about budget, yeah. We found some stuff in here that said the Corona ARPA fund designated spending, so it looks like it has been spent. Some of it's been spent.
They haven't touched any. The only one that was touched, and that was when Chief Garcia was here, we played with the flock canvas, but that was brought to the council, but we got a reimbursement for that. Other than that, we have not spent any.
Well, here it says
ARPA money.
April 2024, first council POW chlorine paid from ARPA funds.
Oh, the coronation system.
That's a chlorination system.
Yeah, the one that was installed. The one that was the prior mayor purchased and it sat there, so we had to get it approved to get it installed because the council didn't approve the installation, just the tank. I believe
I
it
think it
was,
should have been done in 2022, right?
I didn't
it
even
just-
know
it
that
just
that
sat
tank
there.
was there. The tank was coming out at one of the lift stations. It was brought to my attention.
It's probably stainless steel.
It's not
to
your
recycle.
time to talk.
I have a question. So the 40. So the waterfall at the park here, Fazal, it doesn't work. And we're working out quite a bit of money, 259.69, 251.69 in March. And then
No, it did work this year.
did it? I never
Yeah.
seen it running.
It did, and then, he went and he took all the rocks out and pulled out the thing. But yes, it did run for a couple of months and the guys were out there fixing it, and I think they replaced the pump and then they rebuilt it. So yeah, it did work for a couple of months, and I want to say it was, early spring. I think he got it in February, he started working on it. But yes, it did run. So like any of these that you guys see that say, anything that pertains to water, that Joe will, take care of that and he brings it just like what you have there. Anything like how you saw the other parts. Let's see what else. Anything like the utilities for the park, or if he gets anything, Joe is in charge of all of that. he brings it to me and then we go from there. If we need it, we need it. If he can get it, fixed or just, repaired where we don't have to buy a new one.
Sure.
Hey, Jameson?
May I make a comment on the water fund?
Yes,
On the draft ordinance, you'll see that the water fund is estimated to have a negative $61,000 budget or ending fund balance, sorry. I have already found about $30,000 in expenditures that were miscoded. So that number will definitely be lower than what it is stated there. I just wanted to make sure you knew about that.
and, Jameson, I know, we had talked really quick briefly, you did say that there is stuff like that throughout this whole, budget where they're not itemized in the right,
There are.
okay.
With the water fund, I wanted to point it out just because it goes from a positive fund balance to a negative fund balance. And I'm not sure that it's actually gonna end up that way. So I just wanted to make sure the council was aware.
Okay, thank you.
Jameson, so on page 5 of the expenditures, I also see in non-expenditures, coronavirus ARPA designated spending. Says budgeted $45,400 and $34,047 have been spent. Page 5.
So can you say again, what page
Number 5 on the expended
of the expenditures?
expenditures, yeah.
Okay. Okay,
Under
this
part-
is what the mayor just mentioned a second ago. It was used to pay for installation for something at the water fund.
Yeah, there's a
The
coronation.
same one that's over here.
Did you?
And I believe all 34,000 was paid to one vendor, except for maybe like $300 of it. You may be able to find that information in the detailed vendor report under that bars number.
Okay, that's what I saw in the details, and it's the same thing that's over here. Okay.
Yeah.
Ma'am, you have any questions?
No,
Sophie, do you have any more, Sophie?
no, there's chance.
I think pretty much you've answered everyone's questions.
Oh, wait, I still have one more.
Right.
Where's the police department's funds?
Okay, there's two places for you to look under the expenditure report.
Okay, can you tell me where?
Okay, and really quick, Jameson, I know Mary and me were really big on the police department
Yes.
budget when we came in 2022, and that was one of our things, we always wanted to see the budget. Itemized line for the police department, so I think that's what she's wanting to
We
see.
do have it split out in two places.
Okay,
There's a sub-fund of the general fund that was created that is specifically for the 3/10 tax, which is for public safety. And I think there's a couple other taxes that go into that. But the main expenditures are in the general fund, and they start on page 2 of the expenditure report. At the bottom, you'll see 3 lines under the law enforcement header.
I know
And then it goes on to the next page.
Number 2.
Did you find it?
Number 2. Oh, I see it, I see it, I see it.
Okay, so see, it starts there and it goes through page 3.
Okay.
And so there is that subtotal there where it shows the total budget for the police department at 442, give or take, $1,000. There's also a different portion. If you go farther down in that expenditure report to page 5, you're gonna find a little tiny section that says criminal justice. and there's just 3 lines there for salaries, overtime, and benefits. And that's some additional police department spending. Like I said, that's paid for directly with like the public safety sales tax portion and criminal justice funds.
Okay, so my question is, are you gonna take that out of the general funds and have the police department's own funding?
The police department cannot be taken out of the general fund
Why?
because it's a general government expenditure and cities are only allowed to have one general fund.
So how
But
do we,
we
how are
could-
we gonna know how much money we have, how many police officers we could hire, et cetera?
So they're funded partly with this criminal justice money that I was talking about. But then the other part is just general city revenue, so property tax, utility tax, sales tax. And it's gonna be basically mixed in with all of your other general government charges, like parks, and administration, the council, the mayor, the clerk and records, finance, all of that stuff is general government. Fire department, aside from the EMS portion, that's got its own stuff, but
Yeah, I see that. That's why I'm not understanding. The fire
we can
department
take
has
that
its own line.
small little portion
Mm.
that we have in that sub fund right now, and we could put that in its own special revenue fund.
Okay, you're gonna question what?
Because that's what it is. It's a special revenue that can only be used for public safety. But that's the only portion that we could take out separately. The rest of it has to maintain its spot in the general fund. You're always gonna find it, if you can see those numbers, the big old long account numbers, that 4th number in that starts with a 5,
Yeah.
anytime there's something that says 521, it's always gonna be associated with the police department directly.
Okay.
And those are numbers, account numbers that are prescribed by the state auditor's office.
Okay.
Any other question?
Not right now.
We have
I'll
some
think of
online.
something.
Oh, yes, no, okay. Go ahead. Have us state their name. Your question?
We can't hear you guys back here.
Say it louder.
We're waiting for someone to come on.
Yeah,
We're not phone.
we're trying to connect somebody online.
Get online.
On Zoom or on YouTube Live?
On the website.
Oh, I don't imagine if you can go onto the Zoom website and you can, go on the link right there.
Website to get to the link. Website to get
Go on the website to get to the link.
Let's see in there.
Yeah, to the city of Mabton. Are you able to hear me? Well, it looks like he is over on this side, so yeah. Look, there we go.
Yeah, and Mayor, I just want to let you guys know that I'm having a small computer issue. So I'm still on the meeting, but I can no longer look at the reports, so I apologize.
Okay,
Okay, great, thank you.
thank you.
Luke, are you gonna be there Saturday? Luke, you gonna be there Saturday?
You can get us your wish list and we can put it down.
Luke, tell me you want to get out of this. One that doesn't break down, you guys.
I'm gonna be there.
You be there?
If anybody,
Oh, yeah.
wants to know.
Sorry, I didn't ask you.
Deal with this?
I know you would be there.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
How about you, Lori, you be there?
Yeah. Not for you.
He's not there.
Is he there? Does he want to call in?
Hi, I have a question.
Oh, great.
Don't be shy, people, come around.
Hi, I have a question.
There you go.
Good evening. Can I have your name, please?
Christopher Vargas.
Excuse me, can you speak louder because we can barely hear you over in the chambers?
I think it's a TV.
Christopher Vargas.
Oh, good evening, Christopher.
Hi, good evening. So I have a question. I would like to attend the council meetings, but there's a police officer that goes by the name Ryan Sullivan that has a protection order on me, and it seems as if that's being weaponized in order to prevent me from being there. I believe there are two officers, sergeant
Can
as
you hear
well.
me?
I'm trying to work on it.
And can you hear me?
Barely hear you.
Not even placing a mic there, Willow?
She's got them, that's what they're doing.
Can someone repeat what he's saying?
Can you hear me?
Can you call the number?
It's their TV.
Is there a number I can call?
Yes.
Okay, give me a minute. So
Can you real
give me a,
Have him, tell him to slow down. You're gonna repeat what he's saying, okay? So they can hear you, because they can't hear you in the back.
Well, I'd rather have call, because if I don't say it correctly, it
Okay, go ahead and have him call.
okay, I'll call. Can you please tell me the number?
509.
50 830
7976.
7976. Thank you.
Okay, council, point of inquiry here, is this question going to be about the budget or is it
Oh,
something else?
Okay, ask him.
and we got it open for budget right now.
Okay, let him know that, please. Christopher, are you there?
He's gonna call.
Oh, okay, so it's not regarding budget.
This is open discussion about the line item for budget.
Okay.
Purposes.
All right, thank you. Yeah, no, you heard a little bit, right?
I did, and so it didn't sound quite like, I mean, if you can tie it together, great, but
Hello, Christopher. Really quick, I have a question for you. Is this regarding the budget?
Is it regarding the budget? No, it's not.
Okay, so right now we're just doing public comment for budget. If you'd like, I can give you a call tomorrow morning and we can talk about, what you need to talk about. Will that work?
Okay.
Okay. Oh, okay. I,
Not a problem.
okay, I will call you tomorrow, morning. And we can talk about what you want to talk about. Just right now, we're not able to because it's, we're talking about budget. Okay,
Okay, all right. Not a problem.
thank you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and, at this time, any council reports? Close, okay. At this time, we're gonna go ahead and close the public hearing at 8:28. We started at, anybody else? What time did we start it at? 7:48. 7:16. 7:16.
So you gotta go to number 9 now.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and go to, council member reports. So, we'll go ahead and, Vera, do you have any?
No.
Mary?
I do. How come my check is not getting deposit monthly?
You could come in tomorrow, we'll talk about.
Are you guys doing that now?
Yes.
Last month I still took my check. Oh, was this month? Oh, I haven't went to the post office.
Before you choose, go to the post office, please.
Money is on it.
Anything, Sophie? Diane?
I do. I have a question for you, Ruben. I want to know, why are you always picking on me that I'm smarting or I'm doing this? You know, that's just how I am natural. I just smile natural. I don't have a mean look, so I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes that can look disrespectful to the people, to the person that's
I'm
talking.
not being disrespectful.
No,
I'm
but to some
sorry.
people, it does look disrespectful when they're talking and you and Rachel have a smirk on your mouth, like, you guys wanna
No,
laugh.
it's not a smirk. I'm
Or
just
you're
like
not really,
smiling.
you're not paying
I'm
attention to what the
sorry.
person's saying.
I'm sorry if that's how you feel, but it's always been, you know what? I was voted in first before she was. Okay? And it seems that it bothers you because I sit up here. Well, if you didn't like it, you should have run for council member, so you could be sitting here. That's what
Maybe I
you
will.
should have done.
Maybe I will.
Okay, well, good for you.
He's not turning into a personal issue. Maybe I will run for council.
Does you guys have anything to add, Sylvia, Mari? Ben?
No, unless anyone has any questions this morning.
Luke? Yeah, so, really quick, I know we have dump day coming up. It was supposed to be for this weekend, but I double booked for the budget and this, so Joe was, good enough to push it back 1 week for the 19th, correct, buddy? And it is gonna start at 8 to 11 or 8 to 12? 8 to 12. Okay, first load, like always, is 15.
19th, you said?
Yes, the
The
19th. Mhm. And the first load is $15, additional load is $7. And they're able to take, greens and, trash, but no tires. No tires.
You could take green,
Yeah, they were able to bring, a dumpster
but
for
you
greens.
had to take it to the, over here by the bridge.
You can.
Because of the Japanese beetle. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we told people last time, but they didn't want to take it over there. So, yeah, okay. So, also, Harvest Fest, that's been their year, Harvest Fest. And, we do trunk or treat. It's the same day as GMA in Forest. Y'all are doing yours in the evening. This is a 2-hour event, 2 to 4. Everything has been donated for this. We are asking, I think Public Works, we had asked Public Works and if they want to come out and decorate their trunks. We're gonna do cakewalk, free popcorn, hot dogs, kids dress up. Right here, just in the middle, just so you know, to bring the kids out. And,
We're just gonna be that.
right here in the center of town. And, Vera, I want to thank you for coming out to the ribbon cutting ceremony. Yeah, it was nice. The Mabton School band was out
Yeah.
and they had 30 students. It was nice.
We donated all the watermelon. What was
Yeah,
the
so,
yellow?
the Mexican restaurant down here, he donated, churros, watermelon, and did he have agua frescas? Did you guys do water? Agua frescas? Okay, so that's what he donated over here. And then,
Was that an event that was advertised? Because where was that advertised?
it was on the, I want to say it was on our city website, right, Marty? Yep. And then it
When
was,
did it get put on? Not 2 weeks prior, because I was on the city website like 3 days before the event or 4 days before the event. It wasn't on there.
I'm not sure when they put it on, but it was
Because that
on
should
there.
be an advertised event.
Yeah, and it was.
And not on your Facebook page, because I'm not friends with you on Facebook, so I wouldn't be able to go on Facebook.
So
and know
I
that you
didn't
do
put it on my Facebook.
Yeah, you did,
No, I didn't. If you're not my friend, how would you know?
because people told me. That's how I knew, because you posted it on your
So
Facebook. page.
anyway, it was nice. We took it down to the gas station over here. They had Blaze come out. And just on the record, I wasn't the one who planned this event. It was brought to us. The owner, had talked to me the week before and asked if he could do it. And I said, yeah. He said he was paying for everything. It was free tacos, cheap gas, door prizes, and we had it,
Right?
the radio station, Blaze was out there. And I know Blue Sky, if anybody saw today, they're washing their building, they're gonna start painting it. He's gonna be doing some new things in there, and he did ask that within the next month or so, he's gonna have a radio remote as well.
The car hit and hit the wall.
So he's gonna be doing a grand opening. He wants to do that, and he invited the city to be involved with that, and I told him just to let us know when. And he's gonna have the radio out there as well. So,
If the council is invited, you need to give us more than 1 day notice, because there is some council people that do work.
and I know
Actually, I don't think we got any notice. We weren't told about this, ribbon
Well,
cutting
they-
at all.
it was during the day, and I know you guys don't miss
But
work.
you knew about it, you said a week beforehand. None of us were told. I saw it on Facebook that someone posted on there. And that's how I told
Well,
Judy.
I can't post on yours because I'm blocked from
You
you.
don't have to post it on mine. You can tell us, like at the meetings. You knew about it.
No, we didn't have a meeting. I just found out last week.
And you know,
You could have called people. None of us were invited.
No, you know what, Sophie,
None of us were
I have
invited.
called you and you don't answer. I've
You could leave
messaged,
a message. I'm at work. I can't answer it. But when I get a break, I see someone calls me. Okay, I'll answer them.
so. just
So we
letting you
weren't
know.
told about it at all, so that's Vera only went because I told her about it. Because I saw it on someone's Facebook thing, but we weren't even invited or told about it.
Okay.
So thank you, Vera, for going, but that's because she was the only one that was told.
Why is this meeting being held across town this Saturday?
So.
If it's a public meeting, why isn't it being held in here?
And let's see, what else do we have coming up?
And I'm sorry, one more, the Harvest Fest is October 26th.
Mhm.
Again, we were not even told about this, like Laura said, we weren't even told or asked about it or anything.
Okay, so it's in 2 weeks. If you'd like to come out, you're more than welcome to come out and join us. It's an event that's free. Everything is being donated.
So you guys, accounting for the donations, in or out, it's just money only.
No, it's
Yes,
not. No, it's not.
Only-
It's just,
okay.
food
Items.
items. People have brought items. So-
What day is that?
The 20, your same day as yours, from 2 to 4, the 26th. So come out in your trunk.
Thank you. What day is that?
It's on a Saturday from 2 to 4. And then I believe you all are having something as well, correct?
26th is
Yeah.
Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna do it in the early afternoon and then you all are. So, okay. Anything else? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and adjourn this meeting at. We're gonna adjourn this meeting at 8:37.